So just like before, we're going to start from the home page. Unlike the others that we've looked at so far, rather than reports, this is under Configure System. We'll go to Configure System, Custom Event Triggers. Here we can see a wide variety of different custom event triggers, all of which have different sources. Now, the three things that we're going to be looking at primarily for the custom event triggers are enabled, right here, which tells us if a given trigger is active or not. So if we take a look at our wireless panic button activation, for instance, just turn that off for the purposes of seeing what that looks like. You can see that now, if a wireless panic button activation were to come in, nothing would happen because it is no longer enabled, it is no longer looking for that input. Source tells us what type of alert is coming in. And lastly, although this is again somewhat of a niche thing, we can reorder these so we can see what order these will be processed. If they have stop processing, it'll stop after that one if the criteria are met. If not, it will keep searching for all other criteria. But let's go ahead and start with the basics. So these three right here are very similar. CAP, RSS, and ATOM are all ways in which other servers communicate to the order server, either through a common alert protocol, really simple syndication, or who knows what ATOM stands for? Probably you, but not me. So CAPs, RSS, and ATOMs are basically XML code that say, hey server, just a little heads up for you, here's a message, and the server says, cool, thanks, and then based off of that criteria configured in here, may perform an operation like sending out a desktop alert or sending out an email. Your simple message here is similar in that it emulates a text message or an email coming into the server. Your Fire Panel alert is received from Fire Panels, but keep in mind, modern Fire Panels do more than just detect fires. They can detect atmospheric pressure, they can detect a number of independent anomalies in the air quality and pressure to be able to let you know what's going on. So you'd want to be very careful in configuring your events for Fire Panels. Of course, we have our panic button activations of super important note, so we're going to make sure that this is absolutely clear. Panic button activations do not count for just a normal hardwired panic button. They also count for USB panic buttons, wireless panic buttons, and even the mobile incident reporting from the Alertus mobile app. So as we talked before in the mobile group membership, if you have a phone that is enabled to be able to send mobile incident reports, this would be the source that you would find to see if your server is configured to receive them. We also have lightning events, which, as the name implies, is based off of if lightning strikes in a given area. It is a somewhat rarely used add-on, so I would not expect to see too many of these, but if you do see this little flash icon, know that you've got something configured to find when lightning strikes. And also uncommon is the sensor event, which is a custom sensor that sends alerts to the Alertus server. So the big picture here is that custom event triggers look for when another piece of technology communicates the Alertus server an input, and the Alertus server automatically processes that input and responds with a trigger. Let's go ahead and take a look at the review for this section. Custom event triggers let your server respond automatically to events. A very important thing to note is that the sending out of alerts is not itself an event. Events are restricted to only the types that we reviewed there, which is to say CAP, Atom, and RSS feeds, fire panel events, lightning activations, panic button events, and simple incoming messages. Within that set, though, you can be configured to listen for just about any type of event that you can imagine. CAP feeds in particular are great for setting up custom software level interactions between the server and other servers. And using that enable and disable feature, you can very quickly turn on and off these when testing, performing maintenance, or if you've accidentally created a mistake and your server's going off like crazy, just go ahead and disable it without undoing all of your work, and then you'll be able to come back to it later during a safe time and figure out what went wrong. Basically, custom event triggers are a way to set things up automatically, so you have the ability to very quickly hit a kill switch if your automatic process is flawed. But I'd recommend talking to tech support before setting these up. That way you don't have to go through all that hullabaloo of having things set up wrong. We gotcha.